Hilchos Shvisas Osor Perek Beis Halacha Hey. If a person eats on Yom Kippur food that's not edible, la'odom, for a person. Let's go take a look at the Peirush. Like Kigun Asovim Morim, like bitter grasses, such as uh, bitter grasses or Srofim Havuushim, or Shishosam Mashkish in a real shtiur, he drank something which cannot be drunk. Kigun Seer, like the fish juice that comes out from salted fish, or moirayas, or the fat that comes out from salted fish, or live vinegar. I feel the ochal v'shosam mehen harbe, even if he ate and drank a lot of it, harei ze poter min hakoris. He is poter from chorus. Avo, maken oisoi makis maldis. But still, he is punishable by receiving the lashes if he does so when he's not sick or otherwise. The Maggid Mishnah explains the Mishnah is the Mishnah Yuma 81a. If he ate food that's not edible, or drank liquids that are not drinkable, and he drank, such as we mentioned, either the juice or the narration of the salted fish, he's not liable for chorus. The Rambam adds the words for it's not edible for man. The Halacha explains that if he eats food that's only for an animal, not for persons, so he's also poter. And when you look in the text of the Rambam before, that on Yom Kippur, if you eat food which is only edible for man, then if it's the size of a large date, he is liable. The Rambam says, "I will makan oisei makis maldi," that you give him rabbinical makis. Rabbeinu Menach writes the reason for that, as we learned before. If somebody eats a half a shiur, less than the full amount of a full large date, even though he's potter from chorus, and there's a forbiddenness of the Torah of a half a shiur, therefore the Chacham can inflict him with lashes, rabbinical. And the same applies to these foods. He's potter from chorus, but he would be liable for rabbinical lashes. The Torah writes in the name of Avi Ezri, if he ate something that is not edible, there's no even an Isser Rabbanon, and then they ask him they question him from. He himself writes at the end of the simon, if he drank liquids that are not eligible, that it's forbidden. He's not allowed. It's forbidden, but he doesn't receive a punishment. Jesus says, "What's the difference between eating and drinking?" So Jesus says, if he ate the full measure, it's also forbidden, but not punishable. But if he ate less than the amount, now he has a double thing. First of all, he ate less than the amount of kesevis, and he also ate something which is not edible. There's not even a rabbinical forbiddenness. Another answer that he explains the difference between eating and drinking. And when you drink liquids, even if they are these liquids that they can be drunk in small quantities. There we say it's forbidden, but you don't get punishment. When it's not at all edible for man, then there's nothing to be forbidden, because he's not acting in a normal fashion. Nobody would eat this. The Bach pushes off both these answers, and he writes that the Torah disagrees on the Avi Ezri, and his opinions, like the Rambam, that there's a forbiddenness that even by foods which are not edible. The root of the disagreement is why is one potter? The Rambam explains, like every place, he's potter b'di'evet, after the fact, but it's forbidden to begin with. The Avi Ezri says, potter mutar lachatchila. He understands it to me that it's potter, and you can even do so to begin with. The Tana, who says potter, he doesn't say mutar. Why doesn't he say mutar if there's nothing forbidden about it? Because he wrote on food that is the size of a date, a large date, you're liable. Therefore, he concludes with the same type of language that you are not liable. But the truth is that it's even permissible according to the Avi Ezri. The Taz also pushes off the answers of the Beis Yosef, and he questions the second answer that he says that since the liquids can be used drunk in moderation, or when it's used as a dip, it's forbidden because otherwise, one might say that the Rambam and the Avi Ezri do not disagree. The Rambam, when he says you get rabbinical lashes, is when he's talking about food which can be eaten as a dip. The Avi Ezri, who says that you don't get any lashes at all, is talking about something like dirt. That here, definitely, if a person wants to eat dirt, there's no forbiddenness of eating dirt. It's just that he's out of his mind. Before we learn Halacha Gimel, in the name of Ameinu Moy Noach, that you give him lashes rabbinical, the one who eats a half a shiur, just like Rabbi Yochanan says that the Chatzi shiur, which is also not Torah, because you could, why is half a measure forbidden? Because you could use it, technically when he eats it, it could have been added to another half. There, that's only in things that could be eaten. But things that cannot be eaten, you can't say that the half that he ate can be combined with something else. As much as he eats, he never really eats a measure, because it's not edible. Therefore, the Avi Ezri says you can eat it to begin with. But the Rambam is of the opinion that there's midrabanan, there's an issa to do so to begin with, and therefore, since you're trying to progress on a rabbanon, you would be liable to rabbinical lashes. Prima Godim opinions that eating something that's not worthy of eating is forbidden midrabanan because it's not the way of eating it, as we'll see later in Halacha Vov. That it still remains forbidden midrabanan, and therefore he would be liable to lashes. Chometz Chai, live vinegar. The Rambam writes that if he drank even a lot of it, he does not get chorus. This is found in Yuma 81b. The Gemara states that only that what comes out of the salted fish is one does not get liability for, but vinegar, which he would be liable, like according to the words of Rebbe, that vinegar does have some sort of for the body, it gives it reinvigorates it. That means it nullifies the torment that the body is under. Avgidol Bar Menashe then elucidates that Ein Halacha Rebbe, the Halacha is not like Rebbe, and therefore the Rambam says if you drink chometz, you do not say that his mind is set at ease. It's not something that sets a person's mind at ease. There are a series of questions. From the Rambam would seem that one is permitted even if you want to drink a lot of vinegar. In the Gemara it says that Gidol only permitted it with three conditions. One, it's after the fact. Two, it's a little bit, not a lot. And three, it's vinegar without being diluted. And the Rambam doesn't make these conditions, because he learned that the Gemara of Harbe is only referring to that which comes from the salted fish and not on live vinegar. This is though difficult because of the language of the Rambam. It says even if he ate or drank from them, and when he says mayhem, that's plural, it means from all those that he mentioned before. That's referring as well to the what comes out of the salted fish. So Beis Yosef answers that it's more correct to say that the text of the Rambam, there was no difference in the Gemara between a lot and a little, and not like Rabbeinu Yerucham and Bala Shlomo that made a differentiation between whether he ate a lot or a little bit from this drink that is not edible, consumable. The reason that Rabbeinu Yerucham and Bala Shlomo disagree differentiate between a lot and a little, the Bach writes that since if you eat a lot and you more or less come back to yourself, it's considered as if he ate and drank that which is he needed. And you don't say that just because he's drinking something that is not consumable, that his mind, his feeling is not that of normal people, and then we go according to the mindset of people that once they've recovered from their agony, then they are liable because they recovered from their agony. The Rambam's opinion, according to the Bach, is you're only liable if you drank a lot. That's by vinegar, which is diluted. If you drank enough to drink, but if it would be vinegar undiluted, it's forbidden to begin with, whether it's a lot or a little. But after the fact, there's no obligation of a chatas, a sinner offering, even when he drank a lot, because it's not edible. The Taz answers the Rambam that Rav Gidl was that the intent of Rav Gidl was that even if we'll permit it to begin with, is only by a little bit, but on a lot of it, it's definitely Osor. La Halacha, if somebody would be adding live vinegar and diluted, the Ramah writes that Sira Marias, L'chaimetz Chai Potter, all of these three things, whether it's the pickled juices of the salted fish, or other fat, the fats of the salted fish, or the live vinegar, one is not liable. But if the vinegar was diluted, you're liable because that is considered drinkable. What it denotes whether live vinegar is not considered able to be drunk, the Mishnah Berurah writes that when it's bubbling, if you put it on the ground, the vinegar, you'll see a little bubble. That proves that it's unedible.